Hi everybody, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you my TBR for the magical readathon that is being hosted by G over at Book Roast. I am super excited to be participating in this readathon. She hosts the most fun readathons every single year. I really enjoy them. They're very interactive with like whole worlds and characters, and it's more than just pick a book for this prompt, which of course that is involved, but there's so much more to it, and it's a journey. So I'm really excited to explore this brand new world and go down the novice path for Orilium, I think it's pronounced. I'm so sorry, G, if you're watching this and I pronounced that wrong. I'm not very good at pronouncing the fantastical words, but that doesn't mean that I enjoy them any less. This is not going to be my TBR for the entire month. This is only for the readathon. I will be reading more. I just wanted to give this its own video because it really deserves that. But I'm going to link G's original video and the documents and everything that go along with it down in the description below. If you want to participate in this as well, make sure to check out her video first, because she is the OG, and her video will go into a lot more detail about the world itself than mine is. Mine is just going to focus on the books that I will be reading for the readathon. But check out those links in the description, and let's go ahead and get started. For the very first prompt in the magical readathon is to read a book with a map, and I had a very difficult time with this one. I went through books on my shelves for I don't even know how long, and it took me a while to find one, but I finally found The Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor, and I completely forgot about this series. I forgot about it. I should probably read Daughter of Smoke and Bone first, because that's the only one in the series that I've read, and I remember that I really enjoyed it, but for some reason I just forgot about this series and I never moved on. So I won't be reading that book for this because that one didn't have a map in it, at least my copy doesn't, and this one does. So I'm going to go ahead and read the second one, but I have a feeling I'm going to be very confused and may end up going back and reading the first one also, but that's not a for sure. Fingers crossed that I can keep up. But I'm really excited to get back into this series. I don't know why I never finished it, and I am absolutely in love with these covers. They are all absolutely gorgeous. The next prompt is to read a book that has been tempting you, or is the longest standing book on your TBR. And for me, I would say that is most likely Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This book has been on my TBR for years, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. There have been so many books on my TBR. I've slowly been working my way through them, and I have been doing a lot of rereads recently of childhood favorites and like authors that I liked in the past but I haven't read from in a while. And when I'm getting back into series again, I tend to start over from the beginning, especially if it's been a long time. So it's kind of put this on the back burner, but I am very interested in this world. I love like mysterious, creepy settings and like spooky kids stories. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I personally really enjoy it, and this just seems to be right up my alley. One thing that I like about this book too, by just flipping through the pages, is like there's random pictures in it, and I think that's going to add to the spookiness of the story, but I think that's pretty cool. So I'm really excited to get into this. The next prompt was to rate a standalone, and for me that has got to be Looking for Alaska by John Green. I have been reading John Green for a little bit, but it's funny because he doesn't have that many books, but yet I average about one a year for him. And I don't really know why, because I've enjoyed what I've read so far, which was The Fault in Our Stars and Paper Towns. But I did think that The Fault in Our Stars was better. But this one seems to have kind of like a spooky, mysterious feel to it, which I think is going to be different than his other books, and I'm a little intrigued to see if it's going to take the path that I think it is. The next prompt is to read a book with ghosts or haunted houses or other supernatural elements. For this, I am going to be listening to A Haunting of Hill House on audiobook. I will put a picture up on the screen somewhere. I love the Netflix series The Haunting of Hill House, but I never read the book. And I'm sure it's very different, but I do want to go ahead and read it to compare and see how well of an adaptation it actually was. But I still think it's a great series, even if it ends up not being the best adaptation. The next prompt is to read a thriller or a mystery book, and for me that is going to be The Search by Iris Johansen. This is the third book in the Eve Duncan series. I am currently reading the second book, The Killing Game, but I should definitely be done with that by the time this readathon starts, so I'm going to use this one for that prompt. For those of you that don't know, the Eve Duncan series focuses on a woman who does facial reconstructions for the police, primarily of missing children. So it's like if they find a skeleton of a child, she will reconstruct from the face to try to identify the child. And she is mostly inspired to do this because her own daughter went missing and was never brought home. So it's like she's hoping to find her eventually. And I'm sure this is going to expand on that story just a little bit. The next prompt is to read a 5-star prediction. And I want to call this one a 5-star prediction, but at the same time I'm not sure. And that is Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter. And it sounds really, really intriguing, like the type of thing that I would like. But I kind of have mixed feelings about Karen Slaughter overall. I liked The Good Daughter, but there were elements of it that really upset me, and it's like it did kind of ruin my reading experience, particularly at the ending. And I have a full review on that, so I will go ahead and link that down below if you're curious to find out why. But I really, really enjoyed Pretty Girls. So based on her writing style, this could go either way for me, but the premise sounds really intriguing, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a 5-star prediction. And it's a little thick, but that's okay. I love bigger books. The real challenge is going to be fitting in a bigger book amongst everything else that I have to read, but I'm sure that I can do it, and I love a good challenge. The next prompt is to read a book with a school setting, and this one is a wee bit of a stretch, just a tiny little bit. And that is because it doesn't take place 100% in a school. However, the main character is a teenager, and there's many occurrences that take place at the school and interactions with her school friends. So I'm going to go ahead and count it. Sorry if you don't agree, but I'm counting this. And that is The Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot. This follows the story of a young girl named Mia who finds out that she is a princess, and she is the person you would least expect to be one. She's not popular, she's gawky, she's self-critical, and she really doesn't want this position, but she's not given much of a choice. And it follows her diary of how she's coping with this and how it is affecting her life. I did read this many years ago, and it's actually part of a series, but I didn't finish the series. I read the first few, but I didn't finish. So this is going to go along in my reading my childhood favorites thing that I'm doing, and yeah, I can't wait to get back into this and seeing if I enjoy it as much from an adult's standpoint. I'm kind of scared because I don't want to tarnish my memories of it, but at the same time, I think it has the power to age really well. Okay, and the next 3 prompts, thankfully, do not have to be completed in September. I believe G said that you have until April of next year for these because they're character based. It's like goes along with the character that you're building and the environment that you're coming from. So these are going to be more geared towards individual pathways that you're taking, so to speak. And for me, I'm going to be a wilding. So that means that I had to have a book that took place primarily outside or in a forest, and I chose The Reef by Nora Roberts. I've never read this before, so I'm hoping that it fits the prompt okay. I think it does. This follows a story of like Mediterranean treasure hunters, and from the description it sounds like it takes place primarily on the water, so I think it counts. I hope I'm not wrong and there's only a few scenes because that would be kind of a bummer, but I've been wanting to get to this anyway, and I'm pretty excited to get to it, so thank you, G. The next prompt was for Dark Meadow, which is the environment that my character is coming from, and that was to read A Dark Academia. I'll be honest, I have not picked a book for that yet, but I'm not overly concerned about it because, like I said, that prompt does not have to be completed in September, so I'm sure that I will find something later on. If you have any suggestions that would fit that prompt, please let me know down in the comments below, because I'm on the lookout for that, but I don't think I have anything on my shelves currently that fits it, so I've got to think on it just a little bit. And the next prompt was for an elf, which was to read a book with moon or stars on the cover. And again, this was a lot harder than I thought that it was going to be. I don't know why this was so difficult, but I ended up selecting Everland by Wendy Spinelli. I don't know if you can really see. It's not 100% clear if those are stars. And I know that this is a Peter Pan retelling, so I mean it's possible that it might be moon dust or something along those lines, but to me it looks like stars. It's like the right color, it's the right part of the book, and it's bright and shiny, so I'm going to assume that it is. But this was the closest that I could find that had stars or a moon on the cover that I hadn't already read. There were a few that I'd already read, and recently. If they were like super old and I wanted to reread them anyway, I probably would have just grabbed it. But everything that I found that had that on the cover, I recently read. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. Maybe it's a stretch, maybe it's not, but I am really excited to get into this. Alright, so that is all that I have for you guys today. I'm so excited to be going on this journey. I hope that you guys will join us and check out G's video down below and join us on this readathon. It's going to be a lot of fun. I like that it's so expansive and it's going to progress as time goes on and lead into next year. So that's really, really fun. But that is all that I have for you today. If you liked this video, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias that I have down in the description below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!